We've been going back several years in our conversations, Ian. This time, though, we're going back to just last Friday. The New Saints played Ballatown at Maes Tegid, dominated the possession, but unfortunately couldn't get the winning goal.
Yeah, for 90 minutes we did dominate play, didn't we? Right from minute one. You know, for the whole 90 minutes, we as a football team, we battered them, really, didn't we? I suppose, really, but just couldn't find that breakthrough. You know, they were solid defensively, and we just couldn't find that breakthrough in the final third to find that winning goal. Obviously, disappointing to go 1-0 down early on with Aaron's own goal, but we showed great attitude throughout the game. Like I said, played ever so well, but we just couldn't find that winning touch. Had a couple of chances. Sis had a good chance during the game, and Brobs later on in the second half had a good chance, and obviously put away the penalty. But yeah, disappointed that we didn't get the 3 points. But if we take that performance into Friday night's game at Connah's Quay, I think we'll be okay.
And we're back on the road, back in front of the S4C cameras, and it was always going to be a massive gain, but especially so now because the Nomads 1 point ahead at the top of the table.
Yeah, obviously everybody will be looking at that game and wondering who's going to be the winner of that game. So yeah, it's another game, isn't it? And I'm sure Scotty and Evo will prepare the team as well as they do for every other game, and we'll be ready for the game on Friday. Obviously, with the weather being as it is, not sure what the conditions will be like with the pitch over at Connah's Quay, but whatever the situation, we'll no doubt put in a good professional performance and hopefully get the right result.
And a big plus from the visit to Maes Tegid was the return of Tom Holland, not only in the squad but also the starting lineup, and the general feedback from all concerned is that his introduction into the team was very welcome indeed.
Yeah, I think I tweeted an inspirational signing for us, really. I think, you know, at this time of the season, having Tom back in the side can only be good for the team. You know, Tom over the last couple of seasons was an inspirational player for us, and was a key player for us in the middle of the park, and having Tom back has given everybody a major boost at the club, and we welcome him back.
And talking of Tom, staying with the tenacious midfielder, he came, of course, to the New Saints a couple of years ago, went out to Waterford in Ireland. What's the mechanism behind the re-signing from your angle?
Yeah, we obviously met with Tom, and we agreed terms with him. It was then a case of can we beat the deadline for 5 o'clock on the Thursday to enable him to play the game on the Friday night. Unfortunately, I wasn't about in the office because my wife had an eye operation, so there were lots of phone calls between myself and Jacob, our football coordinator, to get the deal over the line. So, like I said, numerous phone calls between the two of us, between the FAW and Waterford, because we needed to get paperwork from them, as obviously that was Tom's former club. So I think within minutes of the 5 o'clock deadline, we managed to get the transfer over the line, and he was available to play on Friday evening.
And thinking of games in generally, and from a statistical point of view, a logistical point of view, even from your own perspective, there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes that perhaps people aren't aware of.
Yeah, for home games, for example, we have operational meeting where all of the team, the staff get together to see how the logistics of the game goes and is managed behind the scenes. So that would include the likes of Wayne Greenshields in terms of fan engagement. What activities are we putting on for the game prior to the game on the pitch, for example? Our academy involved in any games prior to. On a commercial basis, we look to try and fill our hospitality space at the venue on a match by match basis. So Anita, who's involved with that side of the business, she's busy encouraging companies to take tables in hospitality. So it's very much a team effort to make sure that everything operationally on the day goes as smoothly as we possibly can.
And we mentioned about going back in time. We are going to go back 17 years again to when you first came to the club. You must have seen massive improvements in terms of where the club was then regarding match day to where it is now.
Obviously, yeah, not only people but facilities. The facilities that we've got here at Park Hall are fantastic, and we are not far away from hopefully developing the facilities that we've got here to make them even better, and hopefully give our fans and supporters an even better match day experience. And I think that's important, whether it's at our level or whatever level of football that you want, not only to encourage more supporters to come to games, but to retain those fans so they come back every game throughout the season. So yeah, obviously the facilities are really important when you're hosting games. So compared to where we are today, going back all of those years ago, yeah, we're in a totally different place, and we've got a great team of people behind the scenes who are involved in making sure that the experience that supporters get on a match day are as good as what they get at any professional football club.
And finally, Ian, let's talk licensing. For those who are unaware, perhaps, it's not just a case of getting enough points to stay up. You also need a license to play in the top flight Welsh Football League. And so this is also another busy time of the year for you personally.
Yes, again, it's a team effort, so there's various aspects to club licensing. And I must say, since the FAW, and obviously it was UEFA initially that brought club licensing in to enable clubs to play in UEFA competitions. The FAW introduced their own domestic licence a few years later, but I must say licensing has played a major part in how the Cymru Premier has evolved and developed over that time. It takes a number of forms. One is the infrastructure, so ensuring that you've got the facilities to accommodate not only Welsh Premier League games but also UEFA games, and obviously we're fortunate here to enable us to play in those early rounds of UEFA competitions. There's also the sporting side of things, both in terms of the academy set up within each club, and we've talked about that previously, and how fortunate we are with the investment that we put in as a club to ensure that our academy is up there with the best in Wales. Coach education plays a major part in terms of ensuring that the team manager has the relevant qualification, but also we have other personnel within the club that carry out various functions, whether it's the general secretary or whether it's the doctor or the physio. So all of those people have to be in place and have the relevant qualifications to meet those particular requirements. So there's the financial aspect, which is a vital component of licensing, and you've only got to see the current situation with my club Man City in terms of where they're currently at with financial fair play and ensuring that clubs abide by the regulations. So again, it's no different to us what we have to do as a club to what the likes of Man City and every other club competing at European level has to do in order to comply with those regulations. There's also the legal aspect, ensuring that the facilities that you've got, you have security of tenure on those facilities, so you either own them or lease them with an agreement. So yeah, there's lots of things involved in licensing. So we, over the next few weeks, by the end of March, have to send all our documentation through to the FAW to ensure that all the boxes are ticked, and we hopefully are granted the licence both to play in the Cymru Premier next season and also in Europe, hopefully.
Although you have your finger on the pulse and you have the experience of dealing with this year on year, does it still come as a relief sometimes when it comes through and we have the green light to proceed?
Absolutely. For me, having the licence to enable us to play in the competition is just as rewarding as lifting the trophy on the balcony, because for me it's the same experience, and I think without that we can have the best results on the pitch, but we also need to make sure that everything off the pitch is as good as it is on it, really, and as a club we strive to ensure that what we do as a club is no different to any other professional club throughout Europe, perhaps on a slightly smaller scale, but we pride ourselves in hopefully achieving great things as a club with the resources that we have.
Ian, thank you for sharing your thoughts and the insights into how the football club operates today. We'll be back next week for Behind the Scenes with Ian Williams, part 5. Whoever said time flies wasn't joking.
Cheers, Stuart. Thanks, Ian.